Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bry-Fy podcast. This episode is brought to you by Comicpalooza, which is the largest comic book convention in the state of Texas. It will be downtown Houston on May 22nd through the 24th in the ever-spacious George R. Brown Convention Center. But let me tell you, they jam-packed this building completely full. Tons of celebrity guests like Steve Burns from Blue's Clues, Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, I was going to say Wilson Fisk, Lawrence Fishburne, Lou Ferrigno, Pam Grier, Kristen Ritter, and even more. There's even going to be voice actors. Big ones like from Halo, Steve Downs, who plays the Master Chief, Jen Taylor, who was Cortana. You have anime voice actors are going to be there. Comic book guests like Jason Aaron, Gail Simone, the people who did Cyanide and Happiness. It's a great time. Tons of entertainment, tons of vendors, tons of everything. If you have a fandom, they have something for you at Comicpalooza. So please visit the Comicpalooza website now, grab your tickets, and don't miss out.
What you're about to listen to is a Bry-Fy production.
Yo, it's Bry-Fy coming live through your Wi-Fi. One-man show, but I'm feeling like a sci-fi. Comic books, video games, catching them all. Pokemon cards stacked, yeah, I'm ready to brawl. From Marvel to DC, I break it all down. Nifty nerd news, got the geeky rundown. Pop culture hits, movies and shows. I stay in the know while the fandom grows. So plug in, tune up, press play, let's ride. This is the Bry-Fy, baby, welcome to the vibe.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Bry-Fy podcast. I'm your host, Bry-Fy, your comics guy, and it is another wonderful day. Maybe I'm feeling more wonderful because I'm finally done with the shutdown. It's over. It's behind me. I'm looking forward because for the next 2 days, well, wait, today's Friday. For the next 3 days, I have no work. I get to sleep at night, wake up in the morning, and be a normal human in normal society, which is probably the least sound inhuman thing I could think of, but I'm so excited, man, because working nights since the middle of March up until now is exhausting. It's hard, man, like, because then on your off day, like, because like I've mentioned before, I worked 4 days in a row or 4 nights in a row. And then you get one night off. But because of how your sleep schedule is and how my sleep schedule was, so I went in and work at 6 in the afternoon or in the evening, whatever you want to call it, and then came home, like left work at 6 in the morning. You come home and it's either stay up for like 3 hours, so 6, 7, 8, and go to bed at 9, wake up at 4 or 5 to go back to work, or go to sleep immediately, wake up around 2 or 3, and then have, a few hours in the afternoon before you have to go back. There's no good time, really. And then on your off days, there's not, especially in a small town, there's nothing going on at night. Like, I can't just like, yep, I'm going to go out to the IHOP or the Denny's. We don't even have one of those. I mean, there's bars, but I don't want to hang out at a bar. So, like, on my off days, I would just try to sleep at night and then try to, like, get back into a night routine the next day. Like, it was awful. I was probably actively destroying my body doing this, but I don't know. I'm just so happy it's over. Next outage around, I'm definitely putting in for days because and what's even weirder is I technically get more sleep when I work nights because I don't get bothered and like I don't stay up. Like when I work days, sometimes I'll stay up 11:30 midnight, turn around and have to wake up at 5 o'clock to go into work. So, I was only getting like 5 hours of sleep, maybe 6 on a good. When I was working nights, I was getting minimum 7 hours of sleep and even more. So I was technically getting more sleep when I was working on nights, but just because your body's so not like that is not your like normal circadian rhythm, right? Like that is not normal body sleepage. it tears you up, man. It's crazy, but I'm so happy to be done with it. I'm so happy to be here talking to you guys behind a good microphone and not on the way to work trying to mad dash get an episode together for you all. So yay for all of that. Anyway, I hope your guys' week has been going pretty well. I know some bad weather has been rolling in. There's even been hail in some parts of the Houston area, so stay safe out there. Anyway, let's move on to some nifty nerd news. All right, guys, up first in the nifty nerd news, James Gunn has clarified something about the Clayface movie, because we've talked about it. The trailer dropped last week, and I had some questions. I had some thoughts and opinions on it, and James Gunn has come to clear all this up. This is not going to be a hybrid superhero horror film. No. James Gunn said this is going to be straight horror, in the like body horror, in the vein of The Fly or Death Becomes Her. Like he was not mincing his words when he said this. Like, no, let me get this, like, let me give it to you guys straight. This is going to frighten the pants off you. Like that was not, it didn't say exactly that, but that is the thought that he wants to convey about this. He stated that while the DCU will be interconnected, like stories will, everything is canon, right? Each individual film will be each individual film will be the full and complete expression of its writers and directors. Meaning, like, hey, films are allowed to feel and look different. Yes, they all kind of follow the same canon. Like, Superman can't be one thing in one movie and a different thing in another. He has to still be Superman, but that doesn't mean, like, Superman can be in a buddy cop movie in this one and then in a mystery sci-fi thriller in the next one, as long as he stays true to himself and the main canon of the stories don't change. So I like this, dude. I like diversity in a connected, shared universe. It could be really cool. I think DC is definitely has some great thoughts going forward. The trailers that we've seen for their movies and the movies that they have released here recently, I think have been pretty good. So Marvel, you need to step it up, dude. As far as Clayface is concerned, the release date for this movie is set for October 23rd of this year. So get ready for it, man. I know I am. Up next in the nifty nerd news, Toy Story 5 is going to be the first movie in the Toy Story series not to be rated G. Which actually shocked me, because I thought Toy Story 3 was rated PG. And of course, I hope we all know that PG pretty much stands for parental guidance. Toy Story 3 had like that whole incinerator scene where they were like, all the toys were about to die. And I could have swore that had a PG rating, but apparently not, which is crazy. I feel like it's crazy that movies nowadays are even capable of having just a completely G rating. Like, not to say the snowflakes in Hollywood always, but like, it's always like just safer to put a PG rating on a kid's movie than not. I don't know, because I guess people will complain, but I don't know. It was just kind of funny because I could have swore other PG or other Toy Story movies had PG ratings in them, because, you know, like some of the jokes are like something that parents would totally get, because they may be a little well, I guess they frame it in such a way where it doesn't look inappropriate, but an adult knows. Like an adult knows, right? They, oh, that's inappropriate. But I thought it was pretty interesting. But I'm shocked, though, there's going to be a Toy Story 5. Like, I mean, maybe it's a PG rating because they're finally going to kill the toys. Like, I mean, people have been trying to figure out, like, why does this one get a PG? Like, what is going to happen? And they're like, well, they're probably going to actually kill a toy. Like, they're going to destroy a toy. Like, in Toy Story 1, with, like, Sid's room with the, like, body horror toys that he, like, rips apart and replaces a thing. Like, that didn't get a PG rating? Like, strange. Pixar and Disney. But we'll see, man. Maybe Toy Story 5 will, you know, PG rating. They're going to cuss and kill each other. I don't know. Moving on. So a Japanese man was arrested for one of the most heinous acts ever imaginable. I can't believe I'm going to be sharing it on here with you guys. What did this dude do? Well, make sure your kids are out of the room. He spoiled Godzilla -1. Yeah, so a Japanese court has finally ruled on a case against Wataru Takuchi, I think is his name, that he had too much detail and spoilers on his website for Godzilla -1. It actually landed him a suspended prison sentence of 18 months and a hefty fine of 1 million yen, which I don't know, maybe $100,000 US. I don't know how much a yen actually corresponds to a dollar, but 1 million yen sounds like a lot, and I'm sure any amount of fine for just posting spoilery reviews is a lot, man. But you know, the creators of Godzilla -1 argued that what he was doing was essentially an unauthorized adaptation of the film and not an actual critique, which is kind of weird. But as you looked into his website, and others have, Takuchi's summaries would reveal scene-by-scene recounts, even like pictures, and would almost literally be just a copy and paste of the movie through pictures and dialogue. So he would literally just run down the entire movie and not so much critique it as much. So now, like, some things are kind of starting to fall into place as you like look over it and like, okay, like he's just really recounting what's happening. He's not really critiquing the movie or like doing just a brief overview, and like he's like giving detailed information, which you probably shouldn't do. Also, what was probably like not helping and hurting him was that his website was essentially making $250,000 a year doing this. So yeah, and I don't know if that's just based on ad space or donations or what, but you know, you tend to make a bit of money just recounting content that you didn't create, which sounds an awful lot like what I do. Probably might land you in trouble. Then again, my podcast doesn't even make a quarter. I mean, yes, I get to go to cool comic book conventions sometimes, and so it's at least $100 that my podcast earns me. But like, I'm not really making money off of this, guys. So please don't come after me. Excuse me, my throat is groggy. It's the rain, man. The rain blew in, and it's cold. It's like, so like yesterday it was what, like 80 something, mid 80s to high 80s, and today it's 65, low 60s. It really messes with you, man. For people who do voice work here in Southeast Texas, it's rough. They don't talk about it. You know, it's not beautiful, nice weather like they have over in California or New York. No, we deal with humidity, temperature swings, and a bunch of rednecks. Anyway, moving on to the last bit of nifty nerd news that I have for you guys today. Stores and conventions are finally fighting back against Pokemon scalpers, man. There is a store in Japan, so not in anywhere that I care about, but there is a store in Japan that has come up with a novel and surefire way to ward off scalpers, which I think is really awesome. They have decided to come up with a 15-question Pokemon quiz, which I believe all stores should adapt, because guess what? Those scalpers that just are trying to make a buck and buy all the shit up and not let kids and me and kids and mostly me buy Pokemon cards, they can't answer these 15 questions. Now, I don't know if you have to answer all 15 correctly, but I guess they ask you these questions to get a really good understanding of like, hey, do you actually like Pokemon, or are you just here to make a quick buck? And as it turns out, it's actually working. They have actually turned people away based on like the answers that they're given on these questions. And also the store does limit one booster box per customer, and a booster box for a Japanese set is like 30 booster packs. They are smaller packs than here in America, but So, but I mean, it's a booster box. Like an American booster box is 36 booster packs, costs you around 150 to $200 depending, and that's like market value. Maybe they sell them a little bit cheaper doing this. I don't know, but so it's not like, oh, you only get one pack. It's, you get a sealed product, which is a pretty good deal. But I love the limit. Limits need to be upheld and done. I wish the only store that I have around here is a Walmart, and I wish they would be more enforceful on their limits, and they're not, which is very upsetting. They also slash the plastic wrap. They don't damage the cards. They just slash the plastic wrap, which makes it an open product, which makes it harder for scalpers to flip, because like sealed products sells for more on the market. So now if everything's unsealed, now you can't validate like, oh yeah, these are legit or whatever. And so it makes it harder to flip for a higher price on like the third party market or secondary market, whatever the hell you want to call it. And the store has stated that if they see people taking pictures of the question sheet that they're asking them, then they will now refuse to sell Pokemon cards to anybody. And they're doing anything that they can to try to, get as many people as much Pokemon product as they can. Because the problem with these scalpers is not so much that they're buying cards, it's that they are buying all of the cards. Like, hell, in my shop, I was just talking to a buddy of mine who was able to go to the restock day yesterday, and there was a woman there and she's been a problem. She's been there all the time, and sometimes I would just want to follow her home and then put like those creepy like paste magazine letters where I'm like, I know you and I know where you live, to try to scare her away. But she buys as much elite trainer boxes, big boxes that come with like 9 booster packs as she can. And it's disgusting, man, because like I really just want, and I'm not even after elite trainer boxes. I just want to get like a pack of cards that me and RJ can just sit. Like, we've been lucky here recently. There have been some stuff in other stores, and we'll find like a booster pack or two. Heck, RJ got to pull a booster pack from, I think it was the Paradox Rift set, and he pulled out like a $40 card that he was super stoked on. I mean, I was super stoked on it. It's called like a Roaring Moon, and it was a full art. It looks awesome, and he was like, I want to put this in my binder. And I was like, okay, buddy, but we probably should protect it first, so let's put it in a card sleeve. So we did that. It's in his binder, and now it's up, because I have made a promise to myself. Yes, I sell cards. We know, like I've talked about this. I go to shows and I vend. But if my son opens packs and he opens cool cards, those are his cards. I'm not taking those away from him to sell at shows, because I think that's jacked up, man. Like, he's my son and he likes Pokemon and he wants those cards. I'm not going to say like, yeah, let's open this for clout or because it's fun, and then, oh well, this is a good one, let daddy take it. Like, that's jacked up, man. So hopefully, like, when he gets older and he looks back at it, he's got a cool collection of his own that he can be proud of. And I mean, honestly, I've looked at his binder. He's got a pretty cool collection. Also, like we talked about the stores, conventions are now also fighting back. Dude, there's a convention called the Feel Good Gaming, or it's run by Feel Good Gaming, and they have recently posted about how they are fighting back by banning all selling and buying of current retail sealed products. So anything that like you can find in a retail store currently, so that's like what we're in the Mega Evolutions era. So Mega Evolutions, Ascended Heroes, the new one I think is called Perfect Order. So those are the ones that are currently being printed and being put in like Targets, Walmarts, and things like that. Those are banned from being sold at this convention, which I'm a huge fan of. Now, that doesn't exclude things like, so like what, a couple years ago we had Scarlet and Violet 151, which was like a reprint of all the original stuff. Well, not a reprint, but a reimagining of all the original Pokemon. And so like those things that are now out of print, you are allowed to sell and trade there. So it's not like banning all cards or anything, like, or all sealed products. He's just like the current ones, the stuff that kids could potentially buy if they went to a Best Buy, Target, or Walmart. But these scalpers are going, like, they're trying to discourage people from scalping in their area who are trying to, buy up all this sealed product, try to flip it to vendors at an event for a quick buck, which, like I said, man, and I've told people all the time, I can't stand people who do that. I can't stand people selling sealed product. It's trash, dude. They're also banning, and I forgot about this, gambling style games. So there are some vendors at conventions that will sell you things for, like market value. So not retail price, but what it sells on the second market. So it's usually like 2 to 3 times more expensive. But then they'll say, hey, well, we'll do this wheel spin. And if it lands favorable for you, we'll give you a discount. Or like you pay X amount of money here and you could get this value in dollars of a prize. Or they'll do dice rolls with like, hey, if you roll higher than me, I'll give it to you at like a 20-30% discount, or like if not, you pay full price. They even do coin flips, heads I win, tails you lose type things. And this convention is banning all of those. Like it shouldn't be a gambling thing because it's a trading card game for children, people. And I remember my first convention, I did this wheel spin where, hey, if you pay me money, I'll let you spin the wheel. It was just $1, and I didn't see a harm in it because I was like, it's $1, you can win mystery packs, dice, coins, and things like that. But after thinking about it, now what I do is if you buy something from me, you get free wheel spins and you get an extra prize on top of that. So you're not paying for my wheel spins anymore. If you purchase from me, you get free wheel spins. And I haven't really picked a dollar amount like, hey, if you spend X amount of dollars, that entitles you to so many wheel spins. But I would think just like a purchase of $5 or less gets you 1 free wheel spin, up $10 gets you 2, and like so on. So like every $5 gets you a spin on the wheel, I think is what I want to do. So I think that'd be kind of cool and kind of fun because like I get it and I understand it, like don't be the problem. And I'm trying not to be the problem. And all the products that I sell and like this convention's trying to focus on are just singles. And because, like, yes, there is a secondary market for singles. And that's like the case for all trading cards. Like, because there are certain cards people want. They want to fill out their binders. They want to complete sets and things like that. And that I understand. Hell, I love buying singles. I love going to shops and card shows and finding rare, older, vintage cards or promos that you can't really get your hands on because that's fun. It's exciting versus buying a sealed product, which is a gamble in itself. So it's like it's like going to a casino and the only available slot machine you have to pay 5 times as much, but it still has the same payout for someone who was doing the normal one. The problem is there's a 100-person line for the normal one, and you weren't there early enough, and they've taken all the turns on the slot machine or something. Like, I don't know. Like, it's maybe not a great analogy, but it's like 2 of the same slots, except you're forced to play the one that charges 3 times more because everyone has beaten you to the normal price slot machine. Like, that's what it feels like. So it's still a gamble. It's still not like you're guaranteed to get a good hit or anything like that. It sucks. But I'm glad I'm glad conventions are fighting back, and hopefully eventually we'll win. Hopefully the scalpers will just go away. Just get out of here. Go somewhere else. But hey, that's all I have for the Nifty Nerd News this week, guys. Thank you so much for listening and hanging out. Is there some cool news that you've seen or heard of, or something just nifty, nerdy that you want me to discuss, talk about, share your feelings on, share my feelings on? Hit me up, let me know, and we can talk about it next week. But stay tuned, because I have something that I wanted to talk to you guys about and review for you.
Bry-Fy, it's the place to be for comic book kings and gaming royalty. Hit play, subscribe, let's ride the high. It's the world of wonders with your host, Bry.
All right, guys, thanks for sticking around for the review portion of the Bry-Fy podcast. I unintentionally, because I'm not sure it was announced at the time that I started reading this book, but the author of this book is actually going to be a guest at Comicpalooza this year. I didn't know it at the time, but my TikTok was filling my For You page up with people talking about Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's a book series that's been out for a while now, but like my For You page was just literally crawling with Dungeon Crawler Carl. That's so hard for me to say. Content and people talking about it, are reenacting things that are happening with it. And so one day at Walmart, they actually had the first book there, and I said, "Why the hell not? It's not that expensive, and the cover looks kind of cool. I like the style of the cover." So you read the back of it, and it sounds awesome. A dude named Carl is trapped in a dungeon with his ex-girlfriend's show cat, and he has to survive while also being entertaining to an intergalactic alien citizenship that basically can help or harm him in this dungeon. And it's a pretty fun and cool premise. It's like if they took Hunger Games, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and Borderlands and like D&D and put it all together in one novel and just rolled with it, man. Honestly, so I like, and of course the author is Matt Dinniman, and I like as I was reading it, and then one day I was just scrolling through some comicpalooza stuff, and I saw that he was going to be there, and I thought that was really fantastic and really cool, and so it just really also fueled me reading this book, which is the first novel that I have read in probably a couple of months. Like I've definitely haven't read a book all year. I mean, not counting comic books. Like I mean, to me, comic books are books, but like a novel, I haven't read a novel all year. I've been reading the shit out of comic books, and we all know that. I've talked about it on here, but I surprised myself with how quickly I got through Dungeon Crawler Carl, or DCC. Let's just call it the Dixie. No, we'll just call it Dungeon Crawler. I mean, you have to just call it Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's just hard for me to say. It's just I don't know. But like I completed this book within 3 or 4 nights at work. When things were kind of slow, and I was just shocked. I was shocked that I got through that fast, but I was just so thoroughly entertained by this series. Like I mentioned, it's literally a alien race in this in the same vein of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy had reached out to humanity X amount of years ago to be like, "Hey, we need a response from you guys. This thing's gonna happen. We want your resources." And things will happen to you if like we don't get the response that we need or whatever. Or I don't know if that was the exact read, but like basically we reached out and you had so many years to like respond back, and now we're here to collect. And pretty much most life on Earth gets wiped out immediately, except for, and it sounds like a big number, but it, considering all things considered, like the billions of people that live here, like ultimately 13 million people end up in the dungeon, like as the aliens take over and enslave us all or entrap us all. Because here's the kicker of it: if you can defeat the dungeon and go through all 18 floors, I think it is, you can save the world. You become the new ruler of the planet, or like the leader, and they'll just go away. And so like there's a reason to want to do good and survive this place. It's also kind of like Sword Art Online in a weird way, which is like just sci-fi Hunger Games. No. But I mean, this novel is just like such a great smash of all these wonderful genres. And in the same vein of Ready Player One, there are a lot of nods and odes to other nerddoms and other things that are popular. But unlike the Ready Player One series, it doesn't rely so heavily on these like shout outs and call outs. Like they're mentioned, but it's not like its thing. Like where I felt like Ready Player One was like, oh, our thing is to just trauma dump Easter eggs on you. Like I feel like Dungeon Crawler Carl does a great job of bringing these things up, but not making it a like, look how much nerdom I know type situation. The character of Carl, though, obviously in a crazy situation, but has a background that suits him for what he is getting himself into. And based on the clothes that he's wearing at the time of entering the dungeon, he has gotten way in over his head. He is pantsless, shoeless, wears a leather jacket and boxers, and has his ex-girlfriend's Perenian show cat with him. And to make matters worse for Carl, the cat can now talk, and her name is Princess Donut. It's actually a much larger name, but we keep it Princess Donut for short, and she acts all the bit of royalty that she is in this show. And there's a reason in the book. And there's a reason why the cat can talk. It's not just, oh, I'm in the dungeon now, I can talk. No, something happens that allows the cat to speak, and it's quite hilarious because just their interactions is like she's prissy and like a mage type character, and Carl is definitely a tank brawler type character, and just their interactions with each other are absolutely hilarious. Their interactions with other NPCs and creatures throughout the dungeon are also a lot of fun. But what's also really fun about this is you're discovering the rules of the dungeon as the characters are discovering. Like, we don't know anything. We're just as entrapped and lost as Carl is in this book, and so it's a lot of fun for me. Plus, like I said, I'm a big fan. I love the book Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and the dialogue and the interaction between like the game narrator and Carl is very much in the vein of like the narrator of the Hitchhiker's Guide. A lot of some of the silly interactions and characters remind me of if the people from Borderlands wrote these characters and things and these ideas. So they're a lot of fun. They're really hilarious, man. The aspect of how things go, like they don't always go perfect. They don't always go right for Carl when he's trying to do things. And it very much reminds me of having bad rolls in a D&D campaign. And so it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of nostalgia in a way with things that I've really loved and enjoyed about this series. Or not just this series, but other series and games that I've enjoyed in life. And so like I felt so much more connected to Dungeon Crawler Carl as a story than Ready Player One, even though I'm a huge video game nerd and there's a ton of video game stuff in Ready Player One. Dungeon Crawler Carl just spoke to me in a better way, or in a nicer way, a sweeter way, like so to speak. It's just so fun. It's just so engaging. It's high paced. And I mean, you're not that you're speed running it, but I mean, you're moving along. However, I did realize as I got halfway through the book and we were still on level 1, I started to realize we are not finishing this story in one book. And so I made the mistake of looking up how many books are in the series of Dungeon Crawler Carl. And currently I see 6 books, and I don't think it's done. So now I'm getting into my wife's territory of like, she has series of books, like where it's multiple books. And I'm like, oh my God, am I really going to try to read 6 books of a series? And I was like, well, we'll get to the end of this and we'll see how we feel about it. Which comes to my one and only gripe with Dungeon Crawler Carl. And it's not even that big of a deal, but for me, who likes self-contained stories, I felt like book 1 of DCC, that's what we'll call it right now, doesn't have a solid like close. Like to me, book one doesn't have I don't want to say rewarding, but it doesn't have what I would have picked as the natural close for the book then to move on to the next book. It felt a little too open, or a little too like a continuation. Like I should be going into a new chapter, and not like, okay, we finished this portion of the story, like this story arc. Now we're moving on to the next one. Like, or at least I felt like the payoff at the end of this story arc was not the payoff I was expecting or wanting. And I kind of wish either they would have gone just one or two more chapters just to kind of give us some closure on some things and set up for the next thing. But we didn't get that. And it's not like, oh, this was terrible writing or something. It was just, I wanted more, I guess. And like the thing that I did, the one thing I didn't like is that I wanted more, you know? So I guess that's kind of a good thing in a way. I don't know. When I got to the end of the story, I was just kind of like, wait, what? Like, that's it? And I don't want to spoil how far you get and like where it ends, because I think you should really read it. Like, I honestly think people should be checking out Dungeon Crawler Carl. If not the actual book, there's the audio book that's narrated by Jeff Hayes, who is also going to be at comicpalooza, which is crazy to me, but it's really awesome, man. It's funny that something that I got into just randomly, well, I say randomly, but I'm guessing TikTok was subconsciously trying to get me into it. And I had seen the book in Walmart prior, and I've said the name before while in vicinity of my phone. So I guess it was just a matter of time. But to pick it up, buy it, and then see that comicpalooza is going to have big guests related to this book is kind of like a cool thing. It almost seems kind of fateful. But it also goes to show just how cool comicpalooza is and how timely and relevant it can be. So I'm really excited. Like, I've never really been a huge literature guest person for comicpalooza. I mean, it's always been great that they bring in a lot of these literary people, but I will be fanboying about this to Matt and Jeff, and hopefully I can get some autographs on my book and purchase some more books there, because I was like, oh, I can buy them here, but it looks like they will be there to purchase as well. So maybe I can get some autographs and maybe a picture or two. So I'm pretty excited, man. I didn't think I was going to be that excited, but I'm pretty damn excited. But Dungeon Crawler Carl, my God, DCC, it was fantastic. Like I said, it was so much fun. It was just what I needed at just the right time to really just engage me. Like, I haven't been so engaged in a book. I have not read through a book so quickly and so long. I have attempted to start many a series. And I mean, I've read with my wife on things, but I was like, I can only do like one or two chapters at a time, because babe, like, I love you. And the book is kind of interesting that we're reading, but I can't. It's a drag. Like, not a drag, but it's a chore. Reading has always been a chore to me. But something about DCC, Dungeon Crawler Carl, it was effortless. It was just so much fun to read. I guess that's the highest praise that I can give reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, is that it was an effortless read and an entertaining one. And I think you guys should check it out, because I thought it was fantastic. Other than my one little pet peeve at the end, but it only makes me want to get book 2 more now, so that way we can get going. There are, let us say, 6 books in the series, so I got a lot of reading ahead of me. Hopefully it's still as such a smooth read for me going into the next book as it was for the first book. But I'm engaged. I'm excited. There's drama in it. There is a bit of suspense going on with some characters that I wasn't sure that we were going to get. And there is an active how many people are left counter. and the number of deaths that are happening in this book is astounding and can be very abysmal feeling, or like give you such a feeling of dismay, and Carl reflects that. So I feel a lot of like some of the things that Carl feels in voices I really relate to and agree with. And so I don't know, it's fun, it's interesting. There are really funny gags in it. One of the funniest ones, and I think it won't spoil too much, is the game or the dungeon's fascination with Carl's feet. And we'll leave that one at that. But so yeah, definitely check it out. As far as a review, a rating goes, this is definitely a positively charged book. Check it out. Give it a read. Come to Comicpalooza. Meet Matt Dinniman and tell him how much you enjoyed the book. And yeah, can't wait to see you guys there. Can't wait to get on to book 2. Wow, I can't believe I'm so excited by something like that. Anyway, where's Randy from Colt 45? Maybe he's read it. I got to talk to him or some of my other literary friends like the Nerdy Bitches and see if they've read it, because, oh, God, I loved it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast this week. We will see you guys next week. Bry-Fy out.